We should have national mandatory farm conscription, but make the food items produced free. No, dog, you don't need that. We have machinery. You don't need mandatory work of anything. You need to understand that there's people who do things, and the things that people don't want to do, you just incentivize even higher. If nobody wants to pick up the trash, right? Or if the garbage men go on strike, the trash piles up in a socialist state. Essentially what would happen is the garbage piles up and people vote to give them more wages so that they go back to work, right? Because you incentivize them. If you can't incentivize them with them pursuing their dreams, then you incentivize them monetarily, right? The same thing can be said about that. This is why you don't need markets, because things are very, your material conditions is plenty enough to dictate how things should be, right? Another example, if no one would be doctors because no one's making enough money. That's an argument you'll hear capitalists say or fucking weirdo libertarians say. Wrong. If people are dying, people will gladly vote and opt into paying doctors more. If your brother dies of something that's a preventable illness because there wasn't enough doctors, everyone's going to vote because that person was a part of the community to have more people be doctors or incentivize more doctors. There's also an argument to be made that in social society, there's an incentive to automate and streamline all jobs that people don't want to do. Exactly, right? I mean, yeah, also, if you have more time to sit around, you have more time to innovate. Like the greatest thinkers throughout history have all been people who had time. That's what it is. Philosophy came with the rise of civilization, sedentary civilization. What I mean is that's not the right word. But when we opted to stop being nomadic people and people had time to sit around, and as we got more and more efficient, people had time to sit around and think about things. Philosophers, inventors, right? Yeah, Newton made calculus during an isolation and plague. Sure, but I still think those sorts of programs should exist to provide good job for young people who don't know what they want to do, like gap year students. No, you shouldn't have to work. You shouldn't have to work. We live in a world of excess. That's wrong. There should not be any force to work. It's not. That's coercion. That's wrong. That's where the exploitation lies. You cannot force people to work because then you exploit them. Right? You're exploiting their time. If it's not monetarily, right, or profit exploitation, profits or theft, you're exploiting them to agree, right? You're manufacturing consent. Yeah, socialism doesn't mean you're not paid. It means you don't die from not working because you don't have enough food. Exactly. It's purely that you have freedom to, right? The idea is that you have freedom to become an artist. You have freedom to go to work. You have freedom to not go to work. You have freedom to go to school. You have freedom to eat. You have whatever you want, right? It doesn't matter. Yeah, you're actually actual liberty. Yeah. Here's how I see it. You cannot push people to work you can incentivize them, right? You can make incentive, but there should be no requirement. Does that make sense? No requirement. Because there's no need for a requirement in the world we live in. We produce enough food globally to feed every single person, and water to feed every single person. We have more than enough to give everybody food and water. Along with that, we are so efficient at building cars, at building trains, at building houses, at developing technology, that there is no reason a person should be unhoused either. No reason. Any person, right, should ever be unhoused. There's no reason unless you choose to, voluntarily, you have the freedom to choose that. That's it. I think the first thing in the whole world, right, before you do anything in any country is housing. I'm a housing first person. That's literally my whole ideology revolves around housing first. Because the moment you don't have a roof over your head, your likelihood of dying early goes up by over 60%. Also, if you have a roof over your head, you're more likely to go find a job. You feel safe. And with safety comes boredom. And boredom leads to you pursuing things because you're bored. Okay, that's what you do. People do not like just sitting around. You will pursue things. You can only do nothing for so long, right? Maybe you want to get into computers, right? And the idea is if you have a house, well, then you have somewhere to put your computer where it feels safe. You're going to go to work to get what you want, right? That's it. You're going to go to work to get what you want. A roof over your head is the first start, safety, right? Because that's what a roof does. Society functions as a way of safety. That's why libertarians and ANCAPs blow my fucking mind, okay? Because they want to eliminate the thing that holds society together, which is the idea that you don't have any form of safety, right? Everyone's for themselves. There's no regulation on things. There is no bond of society, right? Because someone will face no repercussions if they just fuck you all over and go greedy, get a bigger gun. It doesn't matter. No one will face any repercussions. You're rewarded for that technically, and you'll just keep doing it. It just, the thing that holds society together is the idea of safety. Society is safety. It is the idea that I can work with you because you won't kill me, or you'll get my back, I'll have your back, at least at the baseline level, right? Yeah. Anyways, little rant, a little housing rant, just a little detour.